Hello, everyone, and welcome to day 3 of Living the Earth Wisdom Way. Today, we're talking about integration, clarity, and really being able to share Living the Earth Wisdom Way. So I'm super excited. Thank you to those who used the code yesterday and purchased some bits on the website. I hope you enjoy them. They've all gone out in the post today, so they will hopefully be with you tomorrow. So as always, we're going to start with a little smudge. Oh, there's something on there I don't want. So we're going to get some Palo Santo again, and we're going to give a little cleanse. I love Palo Santo. It's a great wood, really beautiful smell, and very easy to use when we're cleansing. So I'm going to cleanse my mic and the computer. One of the things that's really good to do as well is cleanse your phone. It holds a lot of stuff and a lot of energy, so give your phone a cleanse. So I'm going to cleanse all of you, so I hope you can feel the beautiful smoke coming and cleansing your field. There we go. Cleansing me. Yes, it's still on offer till Friday. In fact, I've extended it till Sunday. So you've actually got till Sunday to use the code that I gave you all yesterday. And for those who weren't on it live and can't remember it, the code is EARTH, capital E and lowercase ARTH. So today, we're just going to take a moment to land and come together. So I want you just to take a moment to connect to your breath. Breathing in and feeling yourself arriving. Breathing out and feeling yourself softening. Inhaling into your body, into this present moment. Exhaling, releasing any tension, allowing your whole being to soften. Day 1 was about remembering. Day 2 was about nourishing and learning to listen. And today, day 3 is about living from this place with clarity, with trust, and with confidence. So that's what we're looking at today. And before we go anywhere new today, I want you just to take a moment to pause and to gather what has already happened. Earth wisdom doesn't rush forward. It slowly integrates into our body, like a seed slowly taking root in the soil. And so I know some of you have shared already about the last few days, but I want you to take a moment to put a hand on your heart and a hand on your belly and ask your being, what has changed in me over these last 3 days? Even subtly. Maybe it's a thought process, maybe it's a feeling, maybe nothing. But just tuning in for a moment. What has changed in you over these last 3 days? And just taking that time to become aware of your body. To become aware of how you feel in your body. And then when you're ready, giving thanks to your body and opening your eyes and taking a moment to make a note in the chat about what's changed in your body. And Julie, yes, I do make all my products. More understanding, lovely, beautiful. Anyone else? What's changed in your body? It's woken up. Wow, I love that. Brilliant. Connection, lovely. Frequency. A knowing to slow down. Beautiful. Easier access to calm. I love it. It's made me want to use plants and herbs more. Brilliant. Openness, clarity, the need for knowledge. Amazing. Noticing more. Brilliant. Listening to my body. My tummy hasn't felt so tight. Being more appreciative in the moment and not rushing my day. Brilliant. Awareness. Lovely. Listening to my body. Wonderful. So I'm glad that you've all been able to connect into these little feelings of change. And isn't it incredible that we don't actually have to do a lot to start feeling these differences? For me, this is showing us how simple it really is on a level for us to receive that transmission from the earth and to allow that healing to move through our body. And that for me is what this is all about. So wisdom isn't something that we accumulate. It's something that we really embody in our lives. So you can read about intuition, you can study plants, you can understand nervous system regulation on a mental level. But what's so important, and this is what the earth wisdom is it only becomes real when we live it in our choices, when we live it in our pace, when we live it in our boundaries, when we live it in how we nourish ourselves throughout the day by day, moment by moment. And that doesn't mean that we beat ourselves up when we don't live that way. But it's bringing that awareness back into everything we do. And I catch myself, as I'm doing something and I'll go, well, hang on, let's just breathe. Let's slow down. Let's connect. And that's what this is all about. And this is why clarity doesn't come by forcing decisions. Sometimes have you ever experienced that where you try to make something happen and you push and you push and you push and you feel like you're hitting your head against a brick wall and you feel frustrated? Anyone experienced that before? Yeah. And then those other times when you just let go and you surrender and it all just slots into place and it's like, oh, that was easy. Why didn't I just do that from the beginning? And this is what this is all about. It's about learning to listen to your body, listen to the earth. So we get these little micro cues. So we know when to push or not to push. So we know when things are going to flow. So that things are coming from a space of alignment. And this is ultimately what this is all about. And if you remember, we talked back about the need to have those solid foundations. And this is ultimately the key through everything. Have we got those solid foundations from which to build? Who remembers what those solid foundations are? I'm going to test you a little bit. What do we need to do? Type it in the chat. What do we need to do to have those solid foundations so that we can access that wisdom, so we can access our intuition more? Ground. Yep. Amazing. What else do we need to do? Grounding. What else do we need? Silence. Yeah. Calm the nervous system. Nourish. Exactly. Ground and nourish. Feel safe. The only way we feel safe is when we are grounded, rooted into this earth, and we have the right nutrients coming into our body. And those nutrients aren't just physical nutrients. Those nutrients are the nutrients of the sunlight, of the earth, barefoot on the earth. We have nutrients all around us. Our breath brings in nutrients. Connecting with the elements, exactly. Before we do these sessions, I spend half an hour, 45 minutes grounding myself, anchoring myself into the earth. And then what I do, and this is what I do with all my work, is I create a beautiful container. And that container, I hate the word container. I was trying to think of a nice word, but a space, a beautiful space, a cavern. Basically, I call in a beautiful column of light, and that light is holding us all in a space where we are safe. In a space where any negative energy is transmuted and pulled out of us. So this vortex basically is surrounding us all. And in that vortex, we are safe to drop into ourselves. It's cleared our space. And then I call in the elements. So I call in the earth, the air, the fire, the water, Mother Earth, Father Sky, and the love within each and every one of us. I call on my guides, beings of light. I call on my higher self, the guides, beings of light, and the angelic to come in and communicate through me so that the words that I am speaking are coming from that space of divine connection. And they're reaching you on that space of divine connection. So it's not just the words hitting your mind, but the transmission of the earth is coming through to you. Hopefully you've all been feeling that. I think you have from the responses that you're all getting. So this is what I do before I do anything, is create this sacred container so that we can all feel safe to open up and to experience. And when we're in that space, when it allows our body to regulate more. Has anyone walked into a building before? And you walk into the building and you're like instantly feel on edge and you have no idea why. Anyone experienced that before? Yes. So energy is everywhere. Everything is energy, and we've talked about this before. So energy is held all around us. And this is why I smudge the screen, smudge my phone, smudge me, smudge you guys remotely. I smudge the space beforehand because energy is held in everything. And so our bodies are very sensitive. Our minds may not be. We may not be aware on a level sometimes of what's going on these deeper, subtler layers. But we can walk in somewhere and instantly feel on edge. Well, that's because the energy in the place is not in line with us. So when we create these sacred containers, these sacred spaces, when we smudge, when we call in that column of light, when we work with these energies, the elements, what we're doing is we're creating a sacredness around us. So wherever we go, we're within that sacred space. Is that making sense to everyone? Great. So this is what is so important, because then the body can go, it's okay. You're safe. Because that energetic safeness is the most important safeness. Obviously, physically, we have to feel safe that the roof's not going to fall down on us or things like that, you know. But the energetics are just as important as that physical safety. And sometimes that goes, we don't realize that. So sometimes we're living in a space that is not safe. So smudging your home, does everyone know what I mean when I'm saying smudging? Does anyone not know? And I can explain. Do type in the chat if you don't know what I mean when I say smudging, and I will explain that to you. So what we're looking at is when the body is regulated, when the nourishment is consistent, then the listening can become habitual. Someone said kind of. Okay, I'm going to explain smudging so that everyone understands it. So what we're doing here with the Palo Santo is we're using a vibration, a frequency to clear the energy. So when you smudge, you can smudge in lots of different ways. So this is a lovely smudge stick that I made on one of the Wild Women days. We made this, in fact, on the summer solstice, and we used it. We went around my garden and gathered herbs, and then we wrapped them, and then you light this. So this might be a little bit, let's light it. So I would then go round. You need to have something underneath you in case it drops. So I've got my nice shell that I got from a charity shop for £1. I was very happy about that. So I would then go round my house or go round me, and I would smudge. So the energy from this, all the herbs in here are cleansing herbs. So they will clear the air energetically and also physically, which is super exciting as well. So the physical energy of those, the physical property of those herbs, mugwort, rosemary, sage, are all very cleansing to the, purifying to the air. So they will clear on many different levels, energetically and physically. So it's like in a church when they've got those big wafty things. I don't know what they're called. You know, the incense things. I think wafty things is a much nicer name. And they put the frankincense and the myrrh in there. And then they go round and they waft those around. Well, frankincense is an incredible cleanser. So is myrrh. So is cedarwood. You know, all of these different woods, sandalwood, they're all have the ability to clear space. You can also clear space using a singing bowl or little chimes, bells. We can clear space with our voice. So ultimately it's about working with the tool, whether that tool is Reiki or Sekem or just thought. I'm going to send light to every corner of this house for the highest good of all beings, so that any negative energy is dispersed and transmuted into beautiful light. Ultimately, it's our intention that is the most important thing when we're looking at smudging. So hopefully that's explained it. So we're clearing the energy for it. Someone said, I did this in every corner before I got my puppy 7 years ago. Felt like I was nesting. Beautiful. Remember going to church with that happening. Perfect. Thank you. Great. So when we clear that space, we can allow everything to drop in and regulate on a deeper level. So that's really important. So when we've got our body regulated, we've got our nourishment consistent, when we've got the listening to our body becoming more of a habit, we're doing that regularly, what will happen is clarity, that intuition will get louder and louder, and your life will start to be guided in a way that you never realized possible, maybe. Because from that space, we're living in such a synchronistic, connected way. And ultimately, that's what all of this is about. So I want you to ask yourself a question, and you can just do it with your eyes open or you can close your eyes. And I just want you to think for a minute and type in the chat, where in your life do you already know what's true but haven't fully trusted it yet? So where in your life do you already know something to be true, but you haven't fully allowed that to come into your body? So typing it into the chat. Where in your life do you know something to be true but haven't trusted it? My finances in my stomach. Okay, great. Meditation. Okay, nice. Relationships. And if anyone wants to expand on those words, then please feel free to. Creativity. So I'd love to know how these things, if you can expand on them. I know I'm safe, but don't believe it most of the time. Okay. So it's also important when we've got these things that we know, why are we not trusting it? What is blocking that trust? I'd like you just to tune into that for a minute. What is blocking that trust? Need to let go of stuff, trusting the universe, yeah. That I'm capable to do all I need to do business-wise and knowing that I can look after myself. A lot of self-doubt at the moment. Yeah, self-doubt is a bugger, isn't it? Really is. I'm meant to be running retreats. Amazing. I look forward to hearing about your retreats. Less time on the bad would definitely, such an important thing. Less time on the bad. I know I could have financial freedom, but I haven't mastered it. Poverty consciousness. It's a big one. I always follow my gut instincts. Amazing. It's money. Yeah, money is an energy. Money is a tricky one. Yes, self-doubt. I know meditation would help me, but always a block. Yep. Lifestyle. Oh, hang on. Lifestyle as I desire rather than what is imposed. Yeah. Vintage caravan, need big field. Amazing. Love it. So on a few of these points, self-doubt, finances all come from the same area, our sacral. So our sacral is our belly area, just below our belly button. And that's where we hold the energy of money, food, and sex, and self-esteem. It's all there. So what we do in this area is we don't trust ourselves because we're brought up in society not to trust ourselves, because this is how we disempower ourselves. The first thing is the base chakra. And the base chakra is our root. So that's what goes down into the ground. It spirals out of our pubic area down into the earth. And this is all about where we fit in with society, where our place is. And so often, for most people who are probably on here, we have felt disconnected from society, maybe because we're a little bit more spiritual, maybe because we have slightly different views from everyone else. I don't know if any of you have felt like a bit of a black sheep or outsider because of your thoughts. That is the root. And so if you don't feel safe in your community because you're different, your root chakra disconnects. So instantly you're unplugging yourself from your power. Okay? And then that moves up to the sacral. I'm not rooted. I don't feel anchored anywhere. No. So then your self-esteem starts to go. And then your ability to believe that you deserve abundance goes with that. And what is so incredible is that the universe is so abundant. Everything is abundant. Have you ever looked at nature, like in the summer, and the abundance that is there, the abundance of apples on a tree, or the abundance of blackberries? We are part of nature. And so part of this work, this living the earth wisdom way, is about understanding this mirroring that we have access to that abundance all the time. And through that, the self-belief comes, because part of the thing about abundance is we can't bring in money if we don't believe we're good enough, because then we can't hold it. Anyone had that experience? You manifest something and you're like, I'm going to manifest the money, and then your car breaks and all the money you've manifested goes on your car because you cannot hold it because you don't have enough self-belief. Or you get the money in and then you spend it on shopping or whatever it is because there's that, quick, get it out, quick, get it out. I don't deserve to hold this. And obviously this is a whole massive subject, so we're just touching on it. But you know, that sitting, believing in yourself as part of a divine creation of this earth, the more we can tap into the earth, the wisdom of the earth, the more we can get out of the way of ourself. Because ultimately we're blocking our true self from being in that abundant space. Hopefully that makes sense to everyone. Believing in myself, even though I know I will get through. You totally will get through. Knowing that I can get on top of my health, but feel I put other things first. Yeah, so this comes down to that self-belief. You know, when we don't feel good enough, we'll put everyone else first because ultimately we don't feel like we deserve it. And so what the work we've been doing over these last 3 days is about really starting to anchor in that we have to feel safe in our body. We have to feel safe in our space, and then this can all slowly start to follow. I know I should be working in healing, but find every reason to believe I'm not good enough. Yeah, totally, I get that. And you are good enough. Totally good enough. Would that also relate to the gut? Yes. So interestingly, with the gut is linked to how we digest life. So if we struggle to digest food, it means we struggle to digest life. And so this is a really important one to look at. Having, what are we eating and how are we eating? What is that mindfulness around of it? And how do we digest the experiences we have in our life? Stomach Ease is a great product I've got, which helps with, on a physical level, the digestion. But ultimately, and this is really important, everything, every plant, everything in life is physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. So when we have something wrong with our gut, it's not just wrong with our gut. It's got these mental, emotional, and spiritual layers to it. When we're working with plants, they work on all of these layers. And this is something I'll get into in a little bit. I've done it all before, but since becoming widowed, I have a lot of self-doubt. I bet because your whole life has changed. And I totally understand that. The dynamics of everything will change. And so it's about finding ways to regulate yourself to feel safe again. To trust in yourself just as you, because we become so codependent on other people without realizing, and it's not a bad thing necessarily, but it's about regaining that independence and also turning to the earth to know that you're held. Great. Everyone's saying yes, 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 absolutely. I don't know where I belong. Yeah, it's really hard sometimes. But you know what? You belong to the earth. You belong with the earth, the plants and the trees. For so many years, I felt like I didn't belong anywhere. I really struggled through school. I struggled through a lot of my life feeling disconnected, feeling like I didn't belong. and feeling like I was a weirdo. You know, from a little child, I could see ghosts and I could sense energy, and I was very psychic, and that was really hard. And I spent half my life shutting it down and the other half trying to reopen it. So I totally get that it's hard to know where we belong. And what I've realised is that the more I own who I am, the more I shine my light regardless, the more people are magnetised to me, the right people. And then I can find that home. But ultimately, you know, sometimes we can feel lonely in a crowded room, can't we? And that everyone feels that, I think, sometimes. And for me, what I do is I turn to the earth and I sit on the earth and I just feel, I remember that feeling of sitting by a tree and I go, you know what? I belong to the earth. And that gives me that deep sense of knowing and reassurance. All the berries this were abundant. Oh my God, they were so abundant, weren't they? They were incredible. Yes, loads of people understanding. Shouldn't money flow in and out like water? That's a really important thing. Good question. Yes and no. We want money to flow, but we want to also be able to hold it. It's a frequency. And what happens is so for example, let's think of how to explain this. Our life force, our life force sits the way I like to imagine it. So I'm quite a visual person, as you've probably gathered over the last few days, and some of you have heard me speak lots of times. But our life force sits I view it, at the base of my spine, there's a fountain. And this fountain roots deeply into the earth. And so I've got this lovely fountain coming up, and then I've got a beautiful, you know, collection of water. Now that water is my life force. And what's meant to happen is that life force is meant to be sat in that pool. And the excess of it flies around my body from the fountain, sprays of water. You know, like a big, in Rome, they've got that lovely fountain. I can't think of what it's called. It begins with T. And it's spraying water all round, but it's filled. The water underneath is filled. So quite often what most of us do, Trevi, exactly, beautiful place, love Rome. That fountain in us, that reservoir of water is where we go to when we need extra, when we're unwell, or when we've had a shock or something like that. It fills up and it's meant to be full. And then the excess of it is what we flow and what flows through our body. Same with abundance, because abundance is life force, exactly the same energy. So when we're living in a state of depletion because we're giving everything away, it's flowing through us and we're not holding any, we have nothing for backup, for reserve. So what we want is this beautiful fountain to be filled with that golden energy of abundance, and then all of that excess is flowing off and flowing around. So we've got that flowing energy of money, of abundance, of energy, of vitality, because money and vitality, same thing. But we've got a reservoir to call on when we need it. Hopefully that makes sense to you. Slight sidetrack with all of that, but important sidetrack. So what we're looking at is how can we sit fully in our lives. And what I want you to do is we're going to do a little practice, a little guided practice now, linking to maybe it's the thing that came up for you just now, or maybe it's something different. But I want you to take a moment just to sit comfortably, and we're going to tune into our bodies. And I want you to take a moment just to reconnect to your breath. And I want you to think of a current decision, a direction, or a question in your life. Don't analyze it. Just allow this current decision, direction, or question to come up and be clear in your being. I want you then to notice what happens in your body when you imagine yourself saying yes to this decision, direction, or question. Just observing what comes up when you say yes. And then I'd like you to imagine yourself saying no to the same thing. What happens in your body when you say no? And then taking a moment to ask the question, what does my body already know about this situation? Then bringing your awareness back, saying thank you to your body, and taking a moment to make a note, and if you want to share it in the chat, what happened? What did you feel in your body when you said yes or no? And what did that bring? What clarity did that bring to you? Did you feel an expansion when you said yes? Did you feel a contraction? Was there a relief? Felt light, brilliant. Did you feel something else entirely? Light then heavy. So light for the yes and then heavy for the no. Big smile came on my face when you said yes. Was that? I would imagine that was when you said yes. An opening but apprehensive. Yes. Excitement, freshness. Brilliant. Excitement, then flat line. I guess the flat line was the no and the excitement was the yes. So what does this say to you all about what your body already knows that you are potentially resisting or ignoring? Because you asked the question and your body gave a response. Felt a slight tense on yes and a relax on the no. Okay, so you know your answer's no then. I asked if I should agree to go on long-term meds. My tummy felt noisy and gurgly. When I said yes, and when I said no, my tummy felt settled. Amazing. Body keeps a score exactly. Interesting, my body didn't know. Okay, so maybe that decision isn't made yet for you. But for a lot of you, there was quite a good clarity between what's right and what's wrong. So what this is hopefully showing you all is your body knows. Someone said that was difficult, between a rock and a hard place, but I saw wisdom. Great. Sometimes it isn't easy. Sometimes it is. But the more we can tune in and ask our body, the more we can get that response that is not our mind. And this is the whole thing. Our mind is this protective thing, trying to keep us safe. But our body has this innate wisdom in it when we're relaxed, when we're connected, when we tune in. But ultimately, what we have to do is we have to feel safe. So even if it's a few breaths to bring yourself into the space, maybe you want to call in that vortex of light. It's one of my favorite things, the vortex of light. Super powerful and simple way to really connect in a safe space. Will there be a relaxing meditation this evening? Yes, there will. I just talk a lot. We will get to the relaxing meditation, I promise. It is coming up in a minute. I have to say, I've been really enjoying sharing with you all, and I hope you have been enjoying it too. It's so nice to connect with some new people and to have this space where we can learn and we can grow together. And I wanted to tell a little story quickly. So the whole earth wisdom concept came up for me a couple of years ago. I was getting ready to start my plant wisdom mentorship. So nearly 3 years ago. And I was driving to pick up the kids from school. It was in the evening. They were at a club. And as I was driving, I was thinking about plant wisdom and I was going through it all in my mind, this plant wisdom, what it really meant. And I suddenly got hit with this wave of, it's not plant wisdom, it's earth wisdom. And I was like, earth wisdom? Ooh, earth wisdom. And what was amazing was that in that moment, I was like, that's my job. I'm an earth wisdom mentor. That's what I'm doing. That's why I'm here. And literally at that moment that download came, an owl flew right in front of the car. Beautiful big white owl just straight in front of the car. And I was like, well, that's definitely confirmation about that. So then I'm mulling over this Earth Wisdom mentor, that line, that phrase, what that meant, what it still means. And then a deer ran out in front of the car and I was like, ooh, wow, I didn't hit it. No animals were harmed in this thought process. And I was like, okay, so I've seen two. I have to see a third because that will really cement it, you know, the power of three. And then boom, like within about 10 seconds, a hare ran out in front of the car. And I couldn't believe it. Like within the space of a minute or two, owl, deer and hare, just to cement in this message of this earth wisdom and the importance of it. And I got to the school, I parked, and I was just a little bit like, phew. So I was quite blown away, to be honest, by the profundity of that experience, of how the earth can communicate so clearly with us. It was amazing. Someone said, "Whoosh, I love it. Earth talking to you." Oh my God, it totally was talking to me. And it was in that moment, and it's going to bring tears to my eye. I felt this deep initiation happening. And it was this embodiment of all of the years of work that I've been doing. It landed fully in that moment. And it was such a powerful experience. And I tell you what, that experience is what has pushed me through so often when I'm like, oh, what am I doing? I'm not good enough. You know, we all feel that. I'm not good enough, that self-doubt. But it's having those things to anchor onto, to go, you know what, this isn't about you. This is something deeper. And that experience really was that initiation into being an Earth Wisdom mentor. So I just wanted to share that little experience with you all. So what today is about, it's about how can we integrate what we've been talking about into our lives. And after this little bit, then we're going to do a meditation. So living the Earth Wisdom way doesn't mean leaving your life behind. It doesn't mean doing more. What it means is about getting present with your life as it is. And when we get present, things may gently change, and that's okay. But it's not about, I've got to change everything right now. That's not what this is about. This is about embodying, it's about listening, it's about, there's a few key points, and I want you to think about these key points because this is really important. And I'm going to post these up in the Facebook group, and I'm also going to put them into an email so you've got these questions to mull over and think about. So hopefully you're all on the mailing list and have been getting my emails. How do you nourish yourself? Really important question. How do you nourish yourself? This is the most fundamental thing to start thinking about every day. How am I nourishing myself? What I've started doing recently is I've started making notes of how I'm nourishing myself every day. So when I go to bed, I've got a book by the side of my bed. What did I do today to nourish myself physically? What did I do to nourish myself mentally, emotionally, spiritually? And then the next part is, how am I making decisions? Am I making decisions from fear or from a deep-rooted listening? How am I relating to others? So these are the questions I want you to really think about. How are you honoring your energy? So at night, I have these questions in my book and I go through and I write down the answers every day to these questions, because what this does is it starts to frame your mind in a different way so that you're giving your mind something to work on, because our mind, we need to give things to work on. And the more we can entrain it with these questions, the more we can start to shift our relationship to everything in our life. And the last question is, how do I respond instead of react? This one I struggle with in the morning with my children, trying to get them up for school. I really struggle and I react more often than respond, I have to say. But I'm working on it. No one's perfect, you know. We're all working on it, and that is the mornings with the children and going through perimenopause and the hot flushes. Whew! It's a joy. But what I'm doing is I'm taking more time to look outside and see. This morning, oh my gosh, the moon. I don't know if anyone saw it this morning. Crescent moon, as the sun was rising. Everything was so beautifully silhouetted. I tell you what, that framed my day so amazingly. It was incredible. And then I was out with the children, not my children, at the local school. I volunteer there. I go in there and I'm teaching them all about growing. So today we were growing broad beans. We were doing a scavenger hunt. We were weeding. We were looking at all the things we've planted. It's beautiful that I love giving back to kids and showing them. It's so important, connecting them into this earth wisdom. You know, that is such an important thing. So these questions are super important. I'm going to post them right now in this chat as well, and I will send them out, as I said, in an email. Write these down, copy and paste them. Start asking yourself these questions every day. This is how we spread wisdom. So one of the things that's so important is the sharing of the earth wisdom. So part of sharing it is by really being it. You know, when you really embody something, it's so much easier for that to pass on to other people. Because that's what's so important, isn't it? It's not just about us, it's about spreading. It's those ripples in the pond. So I want to ask you the question, how do you feel you could spread the earth wisdom to others? What do you think you could do to spread it? Put up in the chat, how can you spread the earth wisdom to others? How can you spread the earth wisdom to others? By example, yeah, what examples? What could you do that would spread it? Share your videos. You could totally share my videos. I love that one. That's a really great one. Thank you. Talk about it, definitely. Share a cup of forage tea. Perfect. Tag them in your posts. Amazing. Yes, you can definitely do that. Oh, I can talk. Yeah, you can definitely talk about it for sure. Ask my students if they know what the solstice is, then we chat. Yeah, amazing. I talk a lot. The logic is so easy to explain. Lovely. Beautiful. I've been sharing my photos of fungi I've seen when walking. Yeah, sharing nature is so beautiful. Maybe you want to invite a friend for a walk with you in nature and just take that moment to pause and observe and notice. That's really such a beautiful thing. With my workshops I run, Herb Garden I look after, more information shared about them, definitely. Speak about earth connections, walk in nature with friends. Totally. And it's sharing and passing on wisdom, like my, if you've got children or friends, my oldest is 21 now, but when he was younger, he still uses this, which is great. I told him that rosemary would help his muscle recovery after football. And so what does he do after football? He has a bath, Epsom salts, rosemary. And he tells everyone about it. It was great recently. I was talking to him he's at University of Manchester, and he shares a house with 4 other guys. And I was chatting to him on a video call, and one of them came in. He's like, I love all your products. Your superfoods are amazing. You're so cool. And Samuel's been sharing them with them. And they're all getting into it all. And he was like, have you heard of this? And what can I do for this? And one of his friends has got eczema, so I was sharing ideas. And it just ripples out, which is such a lovely thing that we can be this ripple in the pond. Such a beautiful thing that we can do. Okay, we're going to do a meditation now. So we can connect more into all of the things that we've been speaking about. So if you want to just take a moment to get yourself relaxed and just allow yourself to settle back into your body. And I invite you to take a moment to feel the steadiness that you've cultivated over these days. Just breathing into your body, breathing into that steadiness, feeling the earth underneath you, that rooted feeling. And I want you to take a moment just to imagine yourself as a beautiful tree. And just taking a moment to think about how that tree was a few days ago. What were its roots like? What were its branches like and its trunk? Did it have fruit? And then slowly moving that tree forward over the last few days to this moment now. What does your tree look like? What does it feel like? Is that tree rooted? I want you to imagine yourself a few months from now as your tree. And visualizing that tree living with rhythm, with clarity, and with deep trust. Visualizing yourself not just as the tree, but as you in your life. Notice how you move, how you speak. Notice how you nourish yourself by following the wisdom of the earth. Now imagine this way of living continues and deepens over the year. Through the seasons, through the cycles, through the change. How does your life look as you travel on the wheel of the year, living the earth wisdom way? What becomes possible when you truly live this way? Don't rush the answer. Let it arrive as a sense, as a feeling, as an inner knowing. This is the future that grows from consistency, not force. And just taking a moment to really anchor that feeling into your body. Knowing that that is your natural state. And giving thanks to the beautiful earth beneath you. And slowly bringing your awareness back to this moment. Back to your body, back to your breath. And when you're ready, opening your eyes. And taking a moment, if you want, to share in the chat, what did that feel like? What did that look like? That integrated living in this way. Peaceful, thank you. Beautiful. Thank you. A soft flow of rhythms of the seasons, wrapped and held by nature, connected. Beautiful. Rosy cheeks and beautiful breeze blowing through the leaves. Oh, what lovely imagery. Energizing. Wonderful. A beautiful oak in a wild flower meadow. Oh, I love it. Acceptance and deep peace. Beautiful and flexible. Love it. Beautiful. What lovely words. Getting stronger through the seasons with strong roots. Amazing. Really beautiful. One of the things, abundance of possibilities, lovely. One of the things that I mentioned is that when we work with the earth, we work not only on the physical, but we work through these layers. So one of the things that we do in the Earth Wisdom mentorship is we work with the plants and the trees and the animals, and we work in this beautiful way where we look at all of these different layers. So for example, here you can see some of the things that we've been doing on the Earth Wisdom mentorship at the moment. And these are some of the handouts. So you've got the physical properties, the mental properties, the emotional properties, and the spiritual properties. And what's so beautiful is each plant, each tree, each animal, we're in the bear at the moment, which is amazing. Each one works through these different layers, which is such a powerful thing. So when you're sat with rosemary, the rosemary isn't just working with you physically, it's working through all of these subtle layers. And it's understanding that really enables us to take things to such a deeper level, which is super, super powerful. And what's so lovely, I'm not very good when it comes to sharing screens. What's so lovely is that with the Earth Wisdom mentorship, it doesn't matter where you're at, it doesn't matter what level you're at, everyone can access the wisdom of the plants, the wisdom of the trees, the wisdom of the earth. There was a lovely testimonial which was put in the Facebook group earlier today from someone who's been on the Plant Wisdom Mentorship, the Earth Wisdom Mentorship, and is now on the Earth Wisdom Mentorship training, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. And she started and she wasn't really connected to the trees. She felt a pull, but she didn't have any real connection to them. And now she loves talking to them, and she put up an amazing picture of this goddess that was in this tree. It was so beautiful. So do have a read of that. Really lovely. And what I'm so excited about is next year we're going to be, well, this year, next cycle, I should say, we're going to be looking at some really incredible things. So this is the cycle of the year here. So you can see these beautiful, all along this beautiful logo, which Giles so kindly did for me. Thank you, Giles. We've got all the different plants and herbs and mushrooms. We're going to be getting into mushrooms, birds, animals. So we're looking at the bee and the robin and the horse, the eagle, the snake, the dragonfly. We're going to be getting into these. So what happens is every 2 weeks we move into a different plant or mushroom or tree or animal. So it alternates between them. And once a month you get sent a package which has something so you can connect more deeply. So we were working with, and everyone got a you essence so that they could take that you essence to connect into the energy of the you. So these are the beautiful things that we're going to be journeying with, and I'm really excited about it. But what's more exciting that I have to share, which is just so incredible, is that a few years ago, I was like, what if we could have more Earth Wisdom mentors in the world? And I was like, yeah, but how on earth am I ever going to do that? How would that even be possible? The logistics of creating a training program and getting it accredited and approved and all this stuff. And I've done it. And it really is the culmination of my life's work. And what's so exciting is that it's now being done on 2 levels. So you can join the Earth Wisdom mentorship just for yourself to journey through the year, through all of these things as a personal journey, which will take you on a deep level of growth within your being. Or you can become an Earth Wisdom mentor and train over the year to teach this, to share this with others, to run ceremonies, to hold that space, to really live this through your being. For some of you, these 3 days will be all you need, and that's great. But for some of you, you may really be feeling that call to go deeper. And maybe that resonance is shouting to you, now's the time. And you can tune into your body like we tuned in earlier. Is it a yes or is it a no? Or is it a not right now? Any of them are right. There's no right or wrong in this. But this work, the earth is changing so profoundly. And the way we are healing is changing so profoundly. The healing world, I really believe, is shifting, because it's all been about people being broken and needing to be fixed. And what's coming in now, I believe, is something totally different. We don't need to be fixed, we need to remember. And so the Earth Wisdom Mentorship is that remembering of what plants, what trees, what animals want to work with us, and why and how we can really tune in to that wisdom, which is super exciting. So I'm going to just put a couple of people on the spot, if they don't mind. Lani and Maxine, I'd love if you guys just shared a little bit about your journey on the Earth Wisdom Mentorship. Lani's been on the Plant Wisdom Mentorship, the Earth Wisdom Mentorship, and now on the Earth Wisdom Mentorship training program. And Maxine was on the Earth Wisdom Mentorship this year and is on the training as well. So if you guys want to unmute yourself, that would be amazing. If you want to share, nothing like putting you on the spot.
Hi, everybody.
Hey.
Hi. I've got to go, so I'm going to be really quick. But yeah, as you said, I've been with you from the plant wisdom to the earth wisdom, and I'm now moving on to the next phase. And I'm really excited. I've absolutely loved working with you, Juliet, because you're just amazing. Um, but it's also, I mean, when I joined the earth, the plant wisdom, my mum had just been recently diagnosed with cancer, and I became her carer. And it was really interesting how every month, whatever I needed in that month was came along in the whatever we were learning about that month. And something you said yesterday is I didn't even really think about it, but about the plants, how they sorry, yeah, I'm coming soon. I'm coming, yeah. How the plants, sorry about that. Um, how we sorry, I've been distracted
It's all
for a
right,
moment.
don't worry.
Um, how they how you how the plants talk to you, even you might not really be aware of it, but they do talk to you. And I've found that rosemary, particularly, a lot of times when I've been feeling ill, I've got a rosemary plant outside, and it's just come to me like, have a rosemary tea, make rosemary, and there's lots of other things, cacao, when I've really just feel I need to just like ground and be comforted. Um, but I just love working with you, and that's why I'm going on to my third year. And I would really like to be able to. I'm not confident in myself, but it's what I really love, and I just feel that I want to be able to share it. And I do share it at the moment. I work with children, and when we're out and about, I talk to them about nettles, and I talk to them about all different things. And it's just really just being able to share that knowledge with everybody is so important to me, because I've always felt that connection with the earth, and you've really helped that grow for me. So
Amazing.
sorry, that's not great, but I've got to
That's
go.
amazing. No, thank you so much. And it's
Beautiful.
lovely to see you on here. And thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting me put you on the spot.
Yeah.
Lots of love.
Good night. Thank you.
Take
Bye,
care. Thank
everybody.
you. Bye.
Bye.
So, Maxine,
Awesome.
I'm going to
My
put
go. Okay.
you on the spot next.
Well, there's so much to say about it, and I'll try and keep it like concise and make sense. But for me, I mean, yeah, love working with you. I don't need to say all of that, but the connection that we have to everything, the way that that's highlighted with every 2 weeks topic. And I always joke because I always say, like, I'm always late to the party. We bring in a new subject, and sometimes you think, oh, I know a lot about amethyst already, or I already know the benefits of sage, or something like that. And then we study it, and the sessions are always really beautiful. But then sometimes for me, it's in the weeks afterwards. And then things sink in, and I think, oh my goodness, I can just connect in with that. And like you say, you don't have to be carrying it. You don't have to be hugging the tree. Sometimes you can just literally, with what you know, just connect your consciousness to the qualities of that plant or animal or crystal, whatever it is. And yeah, it's hugely helpful. It's about enhancing the intuition that we all have, because nothing in our current education system, in mainstream education system, harnesses any of this. And we have evolved from this wisdom. This is like ancient wisdom. It's kind of been not deliberately silenced, or maybe deliberately silenced, I don't know, but it's what makes us powerful. I definitely know that. And I feel that just enhancing that connection and that transmission, and allowing yourself to receive those messages, the guidance that's out there all the time. I think we're being guided constantly to live a good life, to live an incredible life, and that all of us have like an amazing talent. And I know that this year is really about having the opportunity to gain the qualification to take this to a next level. And there's lots of people that are going to be working with you on this year that thankfully are going to be taking this into their own workshops and stuff. And that's just amazing, because it just spreads, that ripple effect is just even more profound. I'm not necessarily that sort of confident person, but I love a good jibber jabber, and I talk to people all the time. And I think that when people see that you're, you know, if you've got like a playful spirit, or if you're a vibrant person, then naturally people are curious about how you live your life. And then that creates those opportunities to help spread the little jewels and the little bits of wisdom and stuff like that. So, you know, what you're doing really is just helping everybody to upgrade and live a better life, live a happier life. And that's not always about having loads and loads of money in the bank. It's about feeling good every day, feeling that we contribute something towards life, and that we have purpose and value, and, you know, those rich connections, and that we're so supported by so much around us. And I had no idea about half of that before, but not even 5% of that before working on this year. So
Amazing. Beautiful. Thank you, Maxine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
A pleasure, treasure.
So, you know, there's lots of ways that you guys can carry on your journey just by taking all the information I've given you over the last 3 days and starting to integrate that into your life is amazing. Obviously, you can follow me on social media, on YouTube, on Instagram. Please do like and follow all the different channels. That would be really great and helpful. And I post lots of videos so you can connect with me that way. I said I had another special gift for you. So my consultations, it's a 90-minute session with me. It's another way you can work with me. It includes hair analysis. We do a deep dive into what's going on with your health. They're normally £450, and with the code CONSULT, you get 20% off. So if anyone has health issues and they'd like to really get into that, then obviously you can do that. You can work with me in that way. Or if you feel the calling, you can journey with me on the Earth Wisdom Mentorship, which would be incredible, either personally or in the training. So either program you can do. And I have put a very special offer on both of them until the end of the week. You can pay in installments. The special offer won't go away for that. But do drop me a message and we can have a chat. I want this to be accessible for people, and I want to get this out there because this is so important. This message, this information is really, really key. So if you can help me spread this information out there because you feel this calling, then that's amazing. I hope you will be on board. Otherwise, I run lots of retreats throughout the year, both in this country and in other countries. So you can join me on one of those if this isn't for you right now. So the two options are either the Earth Wisdom Mentorship for you personally, or the Earth Wisdom Mentorship training. So those are the two different things. The Earth Wisdom Mentorship is 2 Tuesdays a month, online, on Zoom, sessions like this, and there's a Telegram group where we communicate. You get handouts, you get things sent to you each month to tune into those things. There's meditations put up, videos. So there's lots of interactive ability to connect with me and communicate. The training, if you want to do the training, it's an extra Tuesday a month. So it's 3 Tuesdays a month. So you'll do the same first 2 that the Earth Wisdom people do, and then an extra one for the business training. And I'm putting together an epic retreat, Earth Wisdom retreat, for which will be open to everyone. It's going to be in the late summer, early autumn. People on the Earth Wisdom mentorship will get a massive discount on it, and it's going to be like a deep dive into it. So it's going to be a beautiful way that we can all come together. So lots of amazing things. So if you're feeling the call and you like the sound of it, drop me a message. And if you drop me a message before Sunday, then there is a very, very discounted price. So we can talk about that on there. Anyway, lots of love. Does anyone have any questions before we finish?
I'd just like to say a few words about the course because I've been on it.
Oh, amazing, Sally. I didn't see you on it. You weren't on my screen. I'd love it if you shared something. Thank you.
I've just sort of been more purposefully, like stewing apples and brewing up chamomile tea. And one of the things that's happened for me, like subconsciously, is that now I just love whatever time of year it is. I just love wherever we are is just really, really great. Yeah.
Amazing. That's beautiful. It has a great ability to do that because you start to appreciate the difference, don't you? And what's out in different seasons and what those seasons are bringing to us. Thank you, Sally. Amazing. Let's just end Spotlight. Where is the retreat held? I'm just working that out at the moment. I'm just trying to find a really epic place for it. So it'll be in the UK, the Earth Wisdom one. There is also my retreat to India in November, to Goa, if anyone's interested in that as well. So all the details are on my website, my mailing list, so you'll get all of that information. But do drop me a message if you want to chat more about what is the right next step for you in carrying on your work with me. And please do share the videos out to your friends of these last 3 days. Anyone you think this could help, then please do share that out, because getting this message out is so important to people. Thank you, Julia. Inspiring as ever. Thank you. It's been really, really lovely having this time with you all. Thank you for your gifts of vibrant health and positivity. Thank you. I work in school full-time, only school holidays available. I will see what I can do. I just working all the details out of that. But if you'd like to journey with me, obviously, then the Earth Wisdom mentorship is in the evening, so would fit a full-time school teaching schedule. Lots of love. Have a great night. Lovely to see you, and I'm so pleased that you've all enjoyed these 3 days. The prize, there's a gift being announced tomorrow for who has been the most interactive. So do share in the Facebook group your takeaways for this. And before you leave, I want you to think about and just share this. I'm leaving this experience with. What are you leaving this experience with? One word. What are you leaving this experience with? Hope. Amazing. Love. Knowledge. Brilliant. Inspiration. Wonderful. Happiness. Great. Well done, everyone. I'm leaving with hope. Beautiful. Connection, hope and excitement. Amazing. Love it. So thank you guys for showing up, for listening, for nourishing yourself. And remember that Earth Wisdom doesn't end with these 3 days. And I would love to hear how you're integrating this 3-day experience in your life over the next few weeks. Last one was openness. Lovely. Lots of love to you all. Have a great night. And I hope to see you all very, very soon.